Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're fine. I hope you're having a good time. For all of you who cannot have a good time because you're in utter distress, I send you my solidarity. Yes, may you find a good time again. May God help, inshallah. So, I have time today to share a thought, and I was thinking about this thing that I was hearing a lot. Like if you only focus on the peace in Palestine, it is anti-Semitic. Like specifically, of course, if you're not a Jewish person and now you're looking to Palestine, if I am let me talk about myself. If I'm looking to Palestine only, and I don't see anything else in this world, all the things that are happening, all the atrocities, all the horror, the wars, the disasters. If I only look at Palestine and at the horrible things happening there, and I focus on that exclusively, it's a anti-Semitic thing to do. I was told by people that I am such a person, that I only look at Palestine. I do not care for other issues the same way, in the same measure as I do care for the human rights of Palestinians, or let's say, as I do care also for criticism against Israelis. Now I was thinking about that, and I wanted to think and share the thoughts, and my thoughts are that this claim can be true and it can be not true. So for me, I see it that way. No, it can be true, because if really you are a person who is not Jewish and who only focuses on criticizing Israel for what the Israelis are doing against the Palestinian people, and you do not do any other empathy work for what is happening in our world, and any justice activism, any justice work, that is strange, yeah, because there's a lot of atrocities happening. On the other hand, I can say I personally have been looking out for that situation for a long time. I don't say a very long time, but I say for quite some time, let me say 15 years or so, or more. Just the other day, I saw a Facebook post of myself 10 years ago. I was sharing some post 2014, where Gaza was being bombed. I was sharing some posts of Shadia Mansour, some music of Shadia Mansour. So I've been looking at that situation there for quite some time. And now, since October 7th of last year, I've been looking at it like a lot, focusing on it every day, seeing what's happening, checking various sources, media sources, sharing on it a lot, spending hours every day, I would say, several hours on a daily basis, to research, to share, to get active, because I see a plausible genocide happening and it must be stopped. So if I focus on that so much, does it mean that I don't care about what is happening in Sudan? Does it mean I don't care about what is happening in Tigray? Does it mean I don't care about what is happening in any other part of the world, in the Congo? No, it's not so. I do care. I do care, and I wish for peace for everybody. Liberation, justice, and peace for every human being. I do care for the people who are suffering everywhere. I do care about my own pain. I do care about if my neighbor is not fine. I do care. But I see some things going down very heavily, specifically in that place called Palestine. Specifically, there is where a lot of things come together. A lot of history is being written today in Palestine. That is why I think it's very important to look there. Also, if you care for everything else in the world, for every little bird, for every tree, for every flower you care, then I think we have to check on what is happening in Palestine today. Why? Because that is where a lot of things come together. Specifically, the violent power, or let's say the violent force of the white supremacist, genocidal apartheid system, which there is called Israel and it's pushed by the Zionists. But it's a system, and as a white person, I'm grown up to be a white male here in Central Europe. So the cradle of whiteness is where I am born and raised. So what is happening today in Palestine, the way that Palestinians are being murdered, ethnically cleansed, has everything to do without whiteness and how I was raised. How I was raised to believe that I'm part of the best people of the world, like the best race. What is happening there today is in clear continuity to this white supremacist upbringing and system, and the connection between the racism in like in the land where I am at, the racism I was grown up in, and the racism that is killing Palestinians today. The connection is very, 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 very close. Very close connection on all levels, ideological, economical connection. So when I look at Palestine specifically, it's not because the other things don't matter. The war in Sudan don't matter. In the things happening in the Congo, the mines, the people being enslaved still up to today don't matter. Everybody matters. Every human being should matter the same and does matter the same. Yet in Palestine today, we see how racism works in a very horrible way and with the newest technologies. And it's not for nothing that South Africa takes Israel to the court, the International Court of Justice, again and again. And it's not for nothing that hundreds of universities have been now, how can I say, encampments have been built up by the students in solidarity with Palestine. But most of all, in solidarity with Palestinians means standing for justice, not only in Palestine, but everywhere. But if we don't manage to stop the genocide there, we will not manage anywhere else. Do you think if we don't manage to stop this genocidal violence in Palestine, we will stop what is happening in the Sudan, in the Congo? As a global community, we will not, because there is some powers at work that do not care about justice and liberation. And a lot of people are looking there today. We are many. So when we manage to get our force together, to get our power up, and to change and to stop the genocidal violence in Palestine, to stand for liberation of Palestinians, to free Palestine, to, let's say, to stand with the Palestinians to free their own land and to get their own land back and to heal that power, we have to use it to heal the whole world. Who knows me knows me. You know that I'm trying to check my position, and I saw that anti-black racism is very deep. all, in the end of the day, all racism is anti-black. So down the pyramid of racism is always blackness. Sorry to say so. So if I look at Palestine today, I don't forget about what is happening in the Sudan, in the Congo, about the pyramid of racism, how it is built. I remember it. But I also remember that the South Africans are taking Israel to court. It's not for nothing. They know why they're doing it. They know why it's to be done. Why apartheid has to be dismantled today in Palestine. It's one key for global liberation. Maybe it's not the only one, but surely it's one of the keys for global liberation. So big up for all the freedom warriors and freedom fighters. Thank you. I have so many beautiful people in my bubble on Facebook. I'm an old person just on Facebook. Thanks for my beautiful bubble of freedom warriors. Yeah, and I know a lot of youths are standing up against the gaslighting that they are getting also in all the institutions, like in the schools, like our Western media. But the youths, they're not stupid. They are not stupid. We always try to portray youngsters as stupid. They are not. Wait, I have to put my food out the side. In fact, props to the liberation and freedom warriors of Gen Z, does one say so? The students who are building up encampments for liberation and justice against all odds. Of course, thanks to South Africa, thanks to all the people who are using their powers to boycott, divest, and sanction apartheid and genocidal systems anywhere in the world. So now I understood about the blocking of celebrities online, and I'm on Facebook. So yeah, I joined it. It's normal. I block all the celebrities who have power, who have big platforms, and they do not use their voice even to say, stop the war. I mean, it's an easy thing to say. Stop killing civilians in Palestine. It's an easy thing to say. And it must be said because this killing is happening with our Western support, with our tax money, with, with our energy. We are using our energy for them to do the killing. So it's not good. So I must say, not in my name. Stop this. I have to call my government. I have to call my so-called people. I have to tell all my political representatives. This thing needs to be stopped. So if you're a celebrity in this Western world and you don't even raise a voice, you don't even raise one word to say, please now stop this killing. It's not good. It's not good to kill civilians. It has to be stopped. If you don't even manage to say that, well, I cannot support you. No, I have to block you. Not supporting is not enough. I have to block you. I have to make sure that you are also sanctioned for not speaking up because you're powerful and you don't use your power to stop a genocide. And silence is violence. Keeping silent at this point is being complicit, is being violent. So where I live in the north of Italy, in South Tyrol, it's a very sad moment in history. It's a very sad moment in history. And people around us, they pretend that they don't see, they still pretend that they don't know. The silence is almost total in our local media up to today. Even the media that claims to be independent is keeping silence over almost 8 months of genocide that is so open in front of our eyes. Hundreds of universities occupied by the students who are protesting, and here the media, they don't speak anything about it. This is what I say is complicity in very, very big violence. And it's very sad because I believe in the law of karma. I mean, somehow it's normal, you know. You cannot, everything comes back somehowly. Somehowly, everything comes back. So may the gods, may those who hold the universe in their hands have mercy on all of us. First of all, please stop the genocide, stop the killing, bring healing. Let us unite in prayers for healing. Let us unite and get the power, you know, to stop the genocidal violence, to break down the system of apartheid and racism by any means necessary. Freedom struggle. And then please let us unite for healing. We have to heal the world. Ah, yeah, the last thing to say, I've said it before, I didn't invent it. Of course, it's black activists who say these things for a long time, and I've heard it, I don't know where, I read it the other day. Climate disaster, climate change, climate disaster, you know. To talk of climate disaster as if it was something coming in the future is a thing of whiteness. It's white privilege. It's white privilege. You know, now I'm speaking specifically, of course, to my fellow white people. You know, we have to wake up. We are bullshitting too much. You know, black people, people of color, people of the so-called global south are living climate disaster for a very long time because we are fucking up their climate for a very long time, their environment, their land for a very long time. We are killing them and destroying their lands and poisoning and, you know, making the land uninhabitable, inhabitable. That is what the Israelis are doing in Gaza, making the land inhabitable so that nobody can live there. It's not only killing human beings, but it's killing the whole ecosystem. So I turn it the other way around. People who claim to be greenish, loving nature, loving environmental, I don't know what, saying that they are ambientalists, but they don't check that we have to stop the genocide and we have to stop racism. Those people, I think, are also very hypocrite. Most probably white, but anyway, very hypocrite. Yes, what's happening in Europe is bad and sad because everything's gonna come back. And the Green Party in Germany, they're doing what they're doing. And the Green Party is everywhere. We should look into our mirror. What are we producing? You know? Let's talk about greenwashing. Let's talk about pink washing. Let's talk about rainbow washing when they have their green, pink, rainbow flags all day long, but nobody speaks out against the genocide that is clearly racist, you know, enacted by a clearly racist apartheid system. Seriously? And you say that no, we can't do it because if we do it, we are anti Semites? Nobody buys that no more. Nobody buys that no more because we don't, we always just used it as an excuse to continue with our legacy of racism and Nazism. So this thing of saying that no, I can't because, you know, my grandparents were, you know, were Germans and they were, you know, we all Nazis back then. So today we, of course, anti-Semitism is real. It's a real thing. I was raised with a lot of anti-Semitism, left, right, and center. It's real. But I think we have to check, you know, we have to heal. We have to heal. You know, we have to heal. And if we really, yeah, of course, we have to for what happened in the Shoah, for what our grandparents were part of, for what we collectively did to Jewish people. Of course, we have to pay compensation and contribute to the healing. Up to today, this thing is not, some people say, no, let's forget it, it's several generations ago. No, I don't think so. Such a thing does not, just, it's not 100 years later we forget it and it's all done. No, because we never really did it. We never really paid the compensation, because we cannot pay compensation by backing up an apartheid state and building up an apartheid state in a clearly racist colonial manner. What type of logic is that? To say that, yeah, for compensation now we assist you in creating a white settler colony for compensating for what we did as Nazis, it just don't work like that, and we should not fool others and also not ourselves, because it's just, it doesn't work. Like this, like Bob Marley saying, you can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. We cannot fool ourselves and others all the time. We cannot say, yeah, we are backing up a racist colonial apartheid system in committing genocidal violence, and we do it because we have to do it because our grandparents were Nazis. I mean, how crazy is that logic? It's very crazy gaslighting. So please, let's be real. If we have to make up for what we did in the Shoah to Jewish people, yes, we have to check, pay compensation to Jewish families, specifically. I think today, even in Israel, today, you have people who are survivors of the Shoah who are living in poverty. The Israelis, I know, they told me this, that there's a lot of people who are still the elders, now they're over old, but even some of their children are living in poverty. They are not assisted by the state, and they are not assisted by our compensation from the West. So what is wrong? Something is wrong. And the other thing, we have to create space in Europe for Jewish community to live up. And first of all, we have a lot of compensation and apology. We have a lot of need for apologizing to anti-Zionist Jews. Jews against Zionism. Why? Because Zionism is a racist ideology and practice. And you have Jewish people standing up against it. Also in Europe. I'm thinking also of Germany. You have Jewish people standing up against Zionism in Germany, and they are being harassed by the German state apparatus, and the Jewish activists were arrested by non-Jewish German white police. 2024, people, something is wrong. Something is very wrong. So if we have to make shit up, shit that happened in the time of our grandparents, the Shoah, the violence. We have to come together with those, especially with the Jewish people who say never again means never again for anybody. And together with them, we have to create community, and become anti-fascists, anti-Nazis, anti-racist, all together. Because we all have seeds of this evil in us, of this evil system. This system got us all, in one way or another. In one way or another, we all got our share in it. So we have to divest from it, heal from it. And that is an active process, being anti-fascist, anti-racist. We need a lot of discourse on it, but the frame is already made. The frame has to be anti-fascist, anti-racist, and it can never be a frame that says let's support a genocide and let's support a racist settler colonial project in order to heal from what our grandparents did in the times of Nazis. So it was said before, sorry if I repeat myself, but it seems like a lot of people still don't see it that way. So let's discuss about it, but not I don't know, discussing always in a certain frame. You know, discussion needs framing, because a lot of things that here are sold as discussions are are not good, because they are, derailing some things we don't need to discuss. That violence should be stopped, that specifically that we need to stop the genocide. Is that to be discussed? No. People who don't understand that, I block them as far as I can. And all the others who got that, okay, let's check on the details. Let's get together. Let's hold hands. Let's circle. Let's create positive energy. Let's create resilience. Let's stick together. Let's pray for healing. Let's pray for those who are shaheed, who are dead, who are martyrs in the violence. Let's give energy to those who are still resisting. And let's give energy to ourselves for our own resistance. Yeah. Peace to all of you.